Thank you for tuning in to the best parenting show on the internet, Post Daily Dose.
It's the Post. It's the Post. It's the Post. The Post Daily Dose. It's the Post. It's the Post. It's the Post. The Post Daily Dose. It's the Post. It's the Post.
So I was looking all around and I'm like, oh my goodness, where are all of the beautiful people at? And then I looked on Facebook Live and there you are, waiting for me for another episode of Post Daily Dose with me, your trusted parenting advisor, faithful guide and servant on the healing journey. What's my name? Big Papa Brian+Post. Good evening, everyone, and happy Friday to you. So glad it's Friday. I hope you've had a fantastic week. Tonight's episode is we're gonna talk about the window to healing is into your pain. The window of healing is in your pain, and it's been a magical week. You know, it's just been a magical week. Hey, Mama. It's been a magical week of working with families inside the Parenting Matrix program, and I had a mom today tell me, hey, Deanne, I had a mom today tell me that she had made more progress in her life in the last 7 days than what she had made in 10 years of therapy. And I've been saying stuff like that for a long time. People are like, oh, yeah, whatever. But I'm absolutely serious. If you're still struggling, if you're still feeling helpless, if you're feeling like you don't have support, if you feel like people just aren't getting you and like you're just not getting anywhere with your child, we're still waiting for you. We're rocking and rolling, okay? We are moving on down. We're transcending the parenting matrix, but you can still join us. I just posted the last 7 days of matrix lessons that are in the membership. So when you come and join us, you can start, you're going to be a little behind us, but you'll still have access to everything. You can get caught up if you work really hard, but it's there. They're posted. You can catch the first 7 days, get the first full week of all the lessons, the assignments and videos. And then you have a whole team of people who are just on fire and feeling passionate and encouraged, inspired. And they're digging so hard, they're digging so deep, and they're working so hard to change their lives and to move outside of the parenting matrix. So there's still time for you to join us. Just go to theparentingmatrix.com, or you can go to newparentingrevolution.com. Either way, you're going to get to us one way or the other, but it's still available, still here for you. And so we want to be able to love and support you and see you get where you want to get to. So here's the thing. A lot of times when we are struggling inside the parenting matrix, the conditioning tells you to try to get out of it. So everything that we do inside the parenting matrix, when it comes to pain, when it comes to struggle, when it comes to trauma, when it comes to overwhelm, is to try to get out of it. We inside the parenting matrix, you always have a quick fix. So it's a medication, it's a diagnosis, it's a point reward chart, it's a consequence. It's all these different little band-aids that we're always looking to put on the pain. And then there's all these different techniques, and there's all this focus on removing the pain. And so if you've heard me talk about, hey, Helen, how much is it for UK people, please? It's $49 US. I'm not sure what that converts to in the UK. So I think it's cheaper for you guys because you guys are where our dollar's worth less than yours. So you might have heard me talk about before the 3 pathways of emotional expression: the attitudes, the feelings, and behaviors. Underneath the behaviors, and if you haven't, go check out one. Just go on the Post+Institute Facebook page, click on videos, and you will see all the videos. And there's one in there I know that's probably titled The 3 Pathways to Emotional Expression. And I think I may have even whiteboarded it. But go check it out, because at the bottom of behaviors, so attitudes are on top, feelings are in the middle, and then behaviors. And then underneath behaviors is a triangle. And that triangle has anger on one side, depression on another. And the purpose of that is basically to say, if we're not able to express our attitudes, we drop into feelings. If we're not able to express our feelings, we drop into behaviors. And if we're not able to express our behaviors, we have 1 or 2 options. It's anger or depression. And I call that the trauma triangle: anger, depression, behaviors, anger, depression, behaviors, because ultimately you only have those 3 pathways of expression. and your behaviors have to come out one way or the other, because your behaviors are an expression of energy. And you only have two energetic states, a thriving state and a surviving state. So you've got a love state and a fear state. And when your attitudes have been suppressed and your feelings have been suppressed and you've been suppressed all the way down to behaviors, then you get trapped in anger, depression, and behaviors. And if you're in that process 6 months or longer, I call that living in an environment of trauma. So here's the thing. At the level of the trauma triangle, you get diagnosis, you get multiple medications, you get residential treatment, you get disrupted placements, you get disrupted adoptions, you get restraint, you get severe behavior modification, you get isolation, you get all these really intense, focused behaviors on the child. So because all of the focus goes on the child's behavior. And the thing is, they're all focused on the behavior, and they're all focused one way or another on controlling or suppressing the behaviors. And so here's the thing, is you put a child in residential treatment, I don't like how close that camera is to me. You put a child in residential treatment, it's surprising to me that they get in trouble for misbehaving. So the child has not been able to be successful in any home. They go into a residential treatment facility and they get in trouble when they misbehave. It doesn't make any sense. And the reason it doesn't make any sense to me is because I operate outside the parenting matrix. See, inside the parenting matrix, the focus is still on controlling, suppressing, and changing the behaviors. So you take the child to residential, which is the higher extreme of behavior control and behavior modification. The child gets in trouble for the behaviors because the focus of the program is to reduce the behaviors. See, the focus on the program is not to get to the root. It's not to get to the trauma. It's not to address the stress and the fear that's driving the behavior. It's not to address the fact that the child can't express their attitudes. They can't express their feelings. And now they're in behaviors and they've been conditioned for behaviors for years and years and years and years. So they don't have any other options. See, that's what we don't get in residential treatment. These children are behaving the way they are because we've not taught them any other way to behave. We've not given them any other way to express their emotions other than through behaviors. And so now they're in a residential treatment facility where their whole focus is on their behaviors. And then they get in trouble for their behaviors. They get restrained for their behaviors. They get medicated for their behaviors. That's all inside the parenting matrix conditioning. That's classic inside the parenting matrix conditioning. When you move outside of that, you realize it's not about the behaviors, but here's something else you realize. You realize that through the behaviors is where the healing lies. I'm going to say that again. Through the behaviors is where the healing lies. Because when the child is actually misbehaving, is when the child is in their state level of memory. What's at the state level of memory? First of all, the state level of memory is at the level of the brainstem. At the level of the brainstem is trauma, the trauma memories, the trauma emotions. So when the child gets stressed out at the amygdala level, the amygdala stirs up the brainstem, and then up comes all this fear and stress, which drives the behaviors. So it's actually when the child is in an escalated, agitated state that you have the biggest open window into their pain. But inside of the parenting matrix, because the focus is always on suppressing the behavior, no one wants the child to misbehave. Everyone wants to suppress and control and overpower. No one wants the child to misbehave, and no one likes misbehavior. Like, let's be really clear about that. No one likes a child when they're misbehaving. We don't enjoy it, but do you know why we don't enjoy it? We don't enjoy it because it stresses us out. Let me tell you that again. I'm going to say that again. Do you know why we don't like a child who misbehaves? You know why it's so much easier when it's someone else's child, as long as they're taking that child somewhere else? You know why it's so much easier to let them deal with that child? Because we don't get stressed out. You know why it's so difficult for us to deal with our child when they're misbehaving? Because we get stressed out. So you know why what the parenting matrix does then? The parenting matrix is focused on us reducing our stress. The parenting matrix isn't really focused on helping the child's behavior, helping unroot the basis of the child's behavior, the stress and the fear and the trauma that's driving the child's behavior, the lack of understanding, the lack of communication, the lack of trust the child has that's tied into the behaviors. The parenting matrix isn't consumed with that. The parenting matrix is consumed in helping us feel better, helping us feel safer. See, I'm going to want you to just rewind all that and watch it again. And I'm probably going to say you probably need to watch it 10 times. And then you're just going to begin to get a glimpse of what I'm talking about, because there's so much layers. There's so many layers to the conditioning of the parenting matrix. And I'm giving you this. I'm dropping this on you because I'm planting a seed. And that's what I do. That's what I do every night on Post Daily Dose. I show up, I plant seeds for you. You know, every now and then there's a light bulb that goes off. There's a transformation that occurs, but usually it's just planting seeds. And hopefully you show up the next night and you get something a little more valuable. And hopefully you go and watch the videos, you get something a little more valuable. And hopefully in time something's going to blossom, right? But the reality is most parents are living inside of the parenting matrix. As long as you're living inside the parenting matrix, everything around you is supporting the parenting matrix. So you struggle, and you struggle for years, because everyone around you trying to support you is also conditioned by the same matrix. So everyone is trying to operate within a trap. And it really is a trap. And then the child ends up being the one who tries to rebel, because they're the ones trying to break loose, because they're the ones who's still so emotional. They're trying to break loose. And it's so classical for me. Jill says, you aren't supposed to hug them, says the ex-treatment specialist and therapist who found their child in the one place. Yeah, restraint. Yeah, I get it. I get it. Christy says, sometimes when my kiddo is hitting me, I just hold him close and honestly sometimes let him do it because it stops it way quicker. And there's so many things I could say about that, Chrissy. I don't believe in parents getting hurt. I don't believe in parents getting hit. Sometimes it happens. But I really want to help you to help your child get to a place to where they don't have to hit you. And this is someone who's been doing work with children in the trenches for 20 years. I've been at this for 20 years. So I'm not some therapist that popped up at an undergraduate school with a bachelor's degree in social work and started talking to you about how to raise your traumatized child. I've been at this for 20 years. My entire history from the time I was conceived has been organized in a way to put me right here today to be able to speak to you in a way that has nothing to do with my education. Nothing at all. Nothing at all. It has everything to do with my experience. Both my personal experience and my experience as a clinician working with families in their homes and being passionate, inspired, and motivated, and talking to families every single day and helping them have breakthroughs, helping them see how they're so within the parenting matrix. There's so much conditioning that you have to be able to get out of. You know, it's just not enough. And we had a special session today inside the private members group where I was answering a couple of specific questions, and it was so emotional for everyone. It just got so intense because we're all so passionate about having breakthroughs in our homes. These parents I'm working with are so passionate about having these breakthroughs in their homes, and it just gets so intense and the emotion gets so high, and we're learning how emotion is okay. You don't have to hide it. You don't have to keep it tucked in. You don't have to believe that your emotion doesn't matter, because we're raising children who believe their emotions don't matter. So here's the thing. The emotion is the vehicle through which the pain is going to be expressed. The emotion is the vehicle through which the pain is going to be expressed. So the behavior is the manifestation of the pain. The behavior is the manifestation of the pain. The emotion is the vehicle. It's the route through which the pain is expressed. And then what happens, by the pain being expressed, the behavior is able to diminish. But the thing is the pain has to be able to be expressed in an authentic way. It has to not only be able to be expressed in an authentic way, it has to be heard. You have to be felt. You have to have someone who's able to stay present with you. I had a mom, oh my gosh, just today, and I'm always talking about moms because moms are fantastic, so powerful. And you know, dads who are in the program, they're just as awesome too. They're showing up every day. They're doing the hard work as well. But I talk a lot to moms, and I had a mom, she met her son at a level. She went to him. She was emotional. She was connecting. She was apologizing for some traumas that had happened some years ago that he was still holding on to. And she just stuck with him, and she stuck with him, and she stuck with him. And he just melted. He just melted, and they had this great evening, and she felt so empowered and she felt so good, because you have to be able to get through just the behavior. See, the behavior is just the surface. The behavior is the surface. There's attitudes, feelings, and their behaviors, but the behavior is just the surface. At that level, at the level of behaviors, you got to get underneath to the anger and depression. And if the anger and depression overwhelms you, if the anger and depression scares you, if the anger and depression is tied into some kind of imprint, some kind of triggers that you have, you're going to always want to move away from the behavior. You won't even be able to touch the anger and depression, because the behavior is going to become threatening to you and you're going to move away from it. So you've got to be able to get underneath the behavior. The behavior is the window to the healing. And if the focus is on suppressing the behavior and not getting the child to communicate their emotions in the midst of their behavior, for the parent to be able to connect to the child emotionally in the presence of the behavior. Even for Chrissy's saying, my child's mad. If Chrissy can stay present to her child and say, give me your pain, I can tell how mad you are, and I'm so sad. You're so angry because I know underneath your anger is your fear. I see your fear. I see how sad you are. I see how scared you are. And you think I'm going to hurt you. I'm not going to hurt you. I love you. I'm your mom. I'm going to take care of you. I'm going to keep you safe. And to be able to get to that child at an emotional level is going underneath the behaviors to the heart of the matter. To the heart of the matter. But see, you can't focus just on the behaviors. You have to focus on what's underneath the behaviors. And that's the stress and the fear and the pain. So don't be afraid of the behaviors, because that's what behaviors do. And I say don't be afraid of those behaviors. And my matrix parents know exactly what I'm talking about, because the behaviors is what causes us stress, causes us fear. So we see the behaviors, we get scared. We get scared, we start trying to suppress the behaviors. Well, as long as we're suppressing the behaviors, we're never getting to the bottom of it. So then you get caught in this negative feedback loop that the parenting matrix continues to reinforce. The parenting matrix reinforces it year after year after year. The therapists inside the parenting matrix reinforce it. And we don't do it because you don't do it because you're bad. You don't do it because you don't like children. You do it because you don't know any different. Because this is what everyone else is doing. And because everyone else is doing it, and this is what professors have done, and this is what the books have said to do for years and years and years, and decades and decades, and generations and generations. See, that's when you start to question. The things that we're doing now are only hybrids of the practices that we used 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 years ago. One of the very first exercises you're going to do when you join us in the parenting matrix, the first day one, is we're going to start talking about looking at your grandparents and your grandparents, your great-grandparents and your grandparents, and starting to understand and develop an awareness of the matrix at that level. 2-3 generations ago, the matrix got born, and that's where it gets born within you. And it's just this, it becomes this conditioned state, and you got to pull that wool away from your eyes. You got to pull that wool off of your eyes, and then when you pull that wool off of your eyes, you're going to start to see something different. When you start to see something different, you're going to start to feel different. And when you start to feel different, you're going to start to act different. So, again, it's not too late. Join us inside the parenting matrix. Let us support you. Let us encourage you. Let us help you. It's all there. I mean, and we're hitting it so hard. We're hitting it so hard over the next, I promise my team 30 days, every single day, 30 days. So, we're going after it, and you can join us. It's not too late. We want to support you. We want to encourage you. We want to walk beside you, and we want to go to those hard places with you. So that's it, guys. I hope you have a fantastic Friday. I just want you to remember, in any given situation, please hear me when I say this. I don't say it for my health. I say it because I believe and I know it to be true. In any given situation, you can continue to react and behave from the same classic conditioning of the parenting matrix. It exists. We all have grown up in it. And so in any given situation, you can choose to continue to follow that path and do the same thing every single time, and you're going to get the same result. And as you get the same result, people are going to be offering you the same things. Anytime a doctor offers you just another medication, you know you're in the parenting matrix. Anytime the therapist tells you to do this other behavior-focused thing, you know you're in the parenting matrix. It's just listen. All you got to do is open your ears, open your eyes. So we have, in any given situation, we can choose to do that. Or we can stop, we can take 3 to 10 deep breaths. We can slow our minds down. We can start to open our eyes. We can start to unclog our ears. We can start to say, what could I do differently? What could I do differently that I didn't do yesterday? And in that moment, you're choosing love. And when you start choosing love and you start choosing love consistently, you're going to move yourself further and further outside of the matrix. But the matrix, just as you start to get through, we talked about this today, just as you start to pull out of the matrix, things are going to happen within the matrix to suck you back in. There's always these invitations to keep you trapped in the matrix. I want to see you transcend the matrix. So I hope when you lay your head down tonight, it's Friday night, so I hope it's a relaxed night. And I hope when you lay your head down, you feel refreshed, you feel renewed in the morning, you feel re-energized. And most of all, more important than anything else to me, is that you feel restored. I want that for you more than anything. God bless you. Big Papa loves you. Loves you. Thank you so much for tuning in every single day. But you know what? I would be talking here if there was no one. If there was no one here, I just have faith that my seed somewhere, sometime, some point in time, someone's going to hear it, someone's going to get something. So I love you. Thank you for showing up. And please love, comment, share, because we love to hear from you. We love to get your feedback. Love to answer your questions. Have a great Friday, and I'll see you tomorrow night.